what'll start happening now is people will start coming in and saying hello where they're from.
Okay.
And so there's Miss Carol and Carrie Lippert. Oh my gosh, Carrie, I haven't seen you in forever. Bill, my gosh, you popped in fast. Hey, Paul. Hey, from Canada. Greetings from Earth. That's fabulous, Carrie. Hey, Corey, Winnie. So everybody, while we're just letting everybody pop in, I've driven off the mountain, so I'm in La Veta, Colorado today, and so hopefully the internet connection will be much better here than it is when I'm out on the mountain, and we're going to have a lot of fun on this little event. I don't think it'll take terribly long, but I hope that will have fun with us, and I'm glad that you're willing to spend your day with us. We are finally getting good weather and starting to see green here in southern Colorado at high elevation, which makes me start feeling like spring is really finally sprung, and that's really cool. Ha ha ha. Donna's asking, what am I going to play? Yeah, well, it's a challenge. We made up our own original stuff, and it's all world premiere. The things you're going to hear today from me and from Jonathon were composed this week. So they're brand new, and nobody's ever heard them before. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, we're absolutely glad you guys are coming in. Hello, Kamiko. It's good to see you, too. Madison, I love you, sweetheart. Oh, no, that's my mom. My mom is in. Hey, my mom's here, everybody. Hey, Mom. That's great. Good, good, good. So, everybody, I want to introduce you to, I'm going to call him a friend. He's certainly somebody that I respect a great deal. This is Jonathon Long, and I want you to enjoy seeing him. Let me see if I can get over here to the right spot and turn on Jonathon's camera. So there you are, Jonathon. You're on screen. Hey, bud.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. So Jonathon is in Lebanon, Tennessee, everybody. And I don't want to say we go way back. I saw somebody thought that maybe you and I knew each other way back in the 80s, but that's not true at all. We got acquainted because Jonathon, well, actually, Jonathon, why don't you say how you discovered me? Because I think you know that story better.
Well, I think it's going to boil back to my mom. She does quite a bit of sewing, does some quilting, and actually is working at a Bernina store right now. Maybe not right now, but so she, I think, came across your photography sort of class and mentioned it to me, and I'd been interested in photography for a while, sort of as a hobby, and had a decent camera, and so she signed me up for your class, and then I met you through that. I don't remember how many years ago that is. Maybe you have that.
I do know. It was 2015. It was the first year that I offered my 52-week photography class online. And what's crazy about this as we come full circle is that I choose a photo of the week. And I've got like 220 people in the class. So the very first week was called Selective Focus, and my photo of the week was you, and I didn't know you from anybody. So I'm going to see if I can find that photo and show everybody. It's, hang on, it just takes me a minute to find it all. There we go. Not that. Hang on, just give me a second. Oh, it's so hard. There we go. So, so it's marbles on a table.
Yeah.
And
That's actually my floor.
Is your floor? Oh my gosh, it's it's so clean, Jonathon.
Well, I'm sure I cleaned it for that.
Well, the idea was to have something really in focus and to have a lot of things not in focus. And so that was the photo that you did for that. And the thing that really got me excited, I'm going to turn that one off, was that about 9 weeks later, Jonathon is the keyboardist for Lady Antebellum, and I'm sure that you've realized that from looking at our ads. But Lady Antebellum was on a tour to London, or in that area in England. And Jonathon was so dedicated to the class that he wasn't going to miss an assignment. So the assignment was board game. Do you remember that?
I do.
And it's like he's on the road with no board games at all. So tell everybody a little bit about what you found, and then I'll show them the picture.
If memory serves, I was just walking around town and came across this building that certainly reminded me of a chessboard. And even, I can't remember if it's in the photo or not, but I think there was a statue or a pillar or something in the front that looks like a pawn or something like that.
Indeed. Let me show everybody. So this is the building that looks like a board game, and he used the pillar, which is like a pawn, and I just thought it was brilliant. So, I mean, those are photos I haven't forgotten, and that was all the way back in 2015. So that's how Jonathon and I got acquainted, and I don't remember exactly how a few weeks into this I discovered that you were the keyboardist for Lady Antebellum, because you've been doing this for quite some time with them. Is that right?
I have. I've been on the road with them for 14 years and been on the road total for about 20, I guess.
Wow. Who were you with before that? Anybody we know?
Before that, I was with Sarah Evans,
okay,
a country artist, for a while. And then I like to say that for 3 months, I toured around the world with Engelbert Humperdinck.
That's great. That's a name that everybody in this demographic is going to know, that's for sure. So, all right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a lot of stories there, maybe for another time.
Well, maybe we'll have to have another time. So I'm going to take 2 seconds to plug. I have a new smartphone photography class that's starting in June. You can find that at rickytims.com, and you can find me at photoclassforyou.com. But the point is that I just had a really fun, successful smartphone photography class, and I'm offering that again in June. So it's only running for 10 weeks, so if you'd be interested in doing that, that would be great. So that's a little bit. Now, Jonathon, so tell me what you guys as a band are doing right now because of the virus. I know you're staying at home, but let everybody know what your life is like and what the life of a traveling, touring country band is right now.
So we're all staying home. No live shows are taking place right now for anybody. And so we've been doing a lot of home recording. Everybody in the band sort of has their own little home studios. And so we've been doing some home recording and combining them into videos, a few things that might show up on TV. But it's been a lot of fun so far. We definitely miss getting out on the stage and in front of people and traveling. You know, everybody likes to travel most of the time, but so it's been a little different for sure. The blessing side is I have 4 kids, and I'm getting to spend a lot of time with them and my wife, and that I normally wouldn't. So that is certainly a blessing.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you're enjoying the time that you're getting to spend with your family, because I'm sure they miss you terribly when you're gone for such long periods of time.
Most of the time.
I won't speak for them. I'm just going to play like that's the truth. So now, Jonathon, before I talk about your leather stuff, I want to give you a message from my co-host, Alex Anderson. Alex and I have been doing the Quilt Show for 13 years online at thequiltshow.com. And I know a good portion of people watching today are here because they know my side, and you'll have some peeps on your side. But Alex is my co-host of this television show that we've done, and we've done 26 shows a year now for 13 years. But she wanted me to send you a message, and here it is. To Jonathon. Lady Antebellum was my gateway drug into country and Western music. My daughter went to see them, and I wondered what kind of songs they did. I found the song, I Need You Now, and that led me down a slippery slope. After Lady Antebellum came Keith Urban, and the story just goes on from there. So thank you, Jonathan and the band, for bringing me into the world of music that I didn't even know existed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, so she's kind of been busting her buttons when I called the other day and told her what we were going to do. So that's the message. Now tell us a little bit about your leather, okay? Because that's what you're doing, the leather work.
I am, yeah, and I'm doing a little bit more of that now these days as well. And that's how it originated in the first place. We had some time off from the road. One of the three singers, Hillary Scott, was having a baby, and so we had a little time off from the road, and I decided that I wanted to make a hatchet cover, a hatchet sheath. I was going to go camping I think then we only had 2 kids. I was going to go camping with 2 kids and needed a little cover for my camp hatchet. Bought some materials and made that, and then bought a few more and did some more research. Everything's on YouTube now. So like you're doing, that's how I didn't learn from an apprentice or anything. It's just you kind of Google it and figure it out.
Well, let me show some of the things to everybody that you've got, and also everybody on the bottom right. You can find Jonathan's site down at Down South Leather on Facebook. But you do take orders and you do sell. So people, if you like what you see, go check out Jonathan. Look at that bag. Jonathan, I'm showing them your fabulous bag, which I thought was amazing. And then I kept the earrings in here as well because I think the earrings and the bracelets that you do, those are leather earrings. And by the way, Jonathan, we have a quilter in the quilting industry who primarily works only with leather. She makes leather quilts. And wow. She struggled today. She says, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to root for, the quilter or the leather maker.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's Kathy Wiggins. So there's your wallets. I've got to get a wallet from you, so that's going to be on my wish list.
So, obviously, I know you and your folks are machine geniuses, but these are all hand sewn, just saddle stitched, needle and thread. I don't have a machine, and not sure if I can figure one out or not.
Wow, that's amazing. So you have to punch the holes to do the stitching?
Yeah, it's a process. You have to make kind of your groove line, and then you punch the holes first, and then you go through and do the stitching. That's great.
That's great. Well, is there anything about me and my life that you want to ask to maybe tell your people?
I do. I have a few questions for you. So let's see. So your folks may know, but when piano, we're gonna start with music here. When did you start playing piano?
I was 21 months old.
21 months old.
And there's a video on YouTube of me playing a toy piano. It wasn't mine, but the truth is I actually started piano lessons at the age of 3. And I made an album on an organ, on 2-manual organ with high pedals because my feet wouldn't reach the pedals when I was 5. So I've been doing music a long time.
What was your first teacher's name?
Oh boy, you just Becky Miller, Margaret Miller. Boy, that took me back for a second. Margaret Miller was my first teacher. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Mine was Elizabeth Cormier. She was an awesome lady, still with us. Let's see. So, what is one of your earliest? Well, you mentioned some. What's one of your earliest memories of playing piano?
Honestly, it's God. How can I even? The things that I've seen, and sometimes I go back to I remember recording that album on organ. I remember that. But I also played, my mother's side of the family, they played music. They played fiddle and accordion and all of that, mandolins. And they'd say, well, Ricky, we're just going to put this in the key of D. And I knew 3 chords in the key of D so I could play along. And we did all of that for just years. Anybody could play if they wanted to, if they just picked up an instrument. So if it was a washboard, they could play that. So music has been a huge part of my life forever. And like you, because you went into classical music, I did. I learned to read music, and I learned, I'd say properly. So I have a good ear, but I also read.
That's awesome. So your family, a lot of people play. My family, a lot of people play. Every Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving dinner, we clear the table, move the table. Everybody gets out there. We got trumpet players, clarinet, saxophone, trombone, and then I sit at the piano. We have percussionists, and we play Christmas songs after Thanksgiving. And we've done it every year since I was a kid.
Well,
so that's pretty funny.
Someday I'm going to come visit you on Thanksgiving.
Let's do it. So rumor has it that you do some touring as a Christian rock band?
Yeah, back in the 80s, I was keyboardist for a group called Revised Edition. We traveled all over. I was based out of Waco, Texas, and so that lasted maybe 2.5, 3 years. But I was in that industry, and then I guess somewhere along the way I just discovered I was more of a producer than anything, and I got into the world of production. So I started producing albums for people. I ended up in St. Louis, Missouri, where I ended up working for a company that did commercials and jingles, and I ended up writing some soundtracks for Ralston Purina and Anheuser-Busch and stuff like that. And that company ended up going belly up, and I bought the recording studio and put it into my house and became my own self-freelance music producer.
Okay.
So it was, and then quilting came along, and that was the big blind side in my life.
What year was that you sort of discovered that?
1991. I was 35 years old. I had a music career, and I was not even looking for a new career. And so the quilting thing was truly an unexpected thing.
That's cool.
I've got a couple of pictures I could show. So if anybody that doesn't know me, this is a quilt. I'm going to show this quilt. This one's called Bohemian Rhapsody. It's all hand-dyed fabrics. It's the red and green and blue one that I showed you, Jonathan. And it's been a big prize winner on the international circuit. Of course, that was years ago, but certainly one of my more favorite quilts. And the most precious quilt I think I have is this one's called Dad's Lone Star. My dad was a quilter, Jonathan, and my dad pieced the star that's in the middle of this quilt. And then it's all hand-dyed fabric as well. And I did the applique and quilting, and this quilt won a lot, and it won an international arena. And we think it's the only father-son quilt to win on that level of stage.
Wow.
So.
Very cool. Very cool. Is that a Texas reference there, the Lone Star?
The name of the quilt Lone Star, it just refers to this big 8-pointed star. Sometimes it's called the Star of Bethlehem. But because it's just one big star, it's not a Texas reference. But I can see how that would seem to a lot of people that it might be related to Texas. The Sioux Nation, the Native Americans, they do a lot of Lone Star quilts. It's part of their tradition, so it's a pretty popular thing. So I think that hopefully we've been able to give everybody a little bit about both of us and tell everybody about who we are. And so we want to get into this little keyboard battle. I would like to just say, because I connect with Jonathon on Facebook and I see him every now and then, this is how it happened. Last Sunday, as many of you may know, I've been playing my little pump organ in my house every Sunday doing some piece of music. And last Sunday, or it was actually Monday, I think I saw it, but I played Holst, the Jupiter from the Planets by Holst. And on Monday, I saw a comment from Jonathon that said, I saw the Chicago Symphony Orchestra play the Planets when I was in high school. And I said, that's really cool. And I don't know how I popped off. And I said, well, maybe we should do something online. And you said, like, what are you thinking about? And I'm like, I wasn't really totally serious, but why not? And I said, I don't know, we could do 4 notes, or we could pick some silly song and each arrange it. And he shot me back a text, E flat, G, A flat, C. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So that was Monday this week, and we didn't have a lot of rules other than that's going to be our thing. We're going to make up a piece of music, and it's going to be on those 4 notes. Is that how you recall it happening?
That's what it is. There's not a lot of rules.
Absolutely. So now, so that everybody knows, Jonathan and I both did decide that we would record our performances so that we could have, present to you what we really want to present. And so he's done his. He finished his on Tuesday evening. This all started on Monday. I'm like, you put the pressure on me. I finished mine on Wednesday afternoon. And I have not listened to yours, and I know you've not heard mine. You sent it to me, and I will say probably the hardest thing I've had to do in a long time is not listen to your piece before now, but I haven't done that. So what I'm going, is there any reason why there's a question here, is there any reason why you picked those 4 notes, or did they just pop out of your head?
There's really no reason. I didn't have anything in mind when I said it. I didn't want to pick something super obvious that was like all in one, simple chord or something, which it kind of is. But no, I don't know why. Maybe the last thing that I played started in E flat, and so I just went there. I don't know.
Well, I can't tell you how happy I was because that is my wheelhouse.
Okay.
My fingers fit really well in A flats and E flats and all that. So, well, here's the deal, everybody. We don't know who's going to go first. Jonathan is going to close his eyes, and I'm going to put a picture on the screen of a coin so that you know out there whether the coin toss is a head or a tail. But he does not know that. So then, Jonathan, I'll ask you to say what you want it to be, and then we'll be able to confirm that. So close your eyes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And everybody, this is the side of the coin so that you can see what it is. All right, Jonathan, you choose.
I'm going with heads.
All right, it was tails.
Yep, sure is.
It was tails. So that means you're going to go first. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So is there anything you want to say about your piece? Would you like to even point out where your theme is, how those notes fit into it before we hear it, or anything?
Well, I want it to say what it says, but I will say that the rules I set for myself is in my right hand, the melody and everything in the right hand, I only use those 4 notes.
Wow.
Only those 4 notes, different octaves, but only those 4 notes. The left hand, I sort of, put it on top of some different chords at times, but only those 4 notes in the right hand.
So let everybody hear those 4 notes if you've got your keyboard live.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be heard.
Yes,
absolutely. If you can hear that or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So
that's the 4.
All right.
Different order, I use different order and different rhythm and all sorts of stuff, but those 4 notes. So.
All right. So everybody, I'm going to go over here and pull this up, and at the end of Jonathan's song, we're going to have a little chat about it. So Jonathan, I'm excited to hear this, and away we go. Okay.
Let's do it.
back here. Well, besides a few tears, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, yeah. So that's just amazing, Jonathan. It's beautiful. There's a whole lot of wonderfuls, wows, bravos, fabulouses, plod, beautiful. It's just beautiful. I'm hoping that I can do a contemplative album. I've been already working. I've got about 5 or 6 songs on that album now, and that's just tops them all. It's beautiful. I told everybody I was going to get my ass whooped.
Well, I don't know about that. Listening back, you never know what road you're gonna go down when you're writing things. And listening now from a couple days rest, it's reminding me of a 90s soap opera right now. But maybe that's just the coffee stuff.
Not at all. Not for me. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and the comments are still flowing in with bravos and beautiful and damn, that's really good and amazing and breathtaking and all of that. So it is. It's beautiful. I would want that on an album. If you don't put it on one, send it to me so I can have it in my playlist.
Okay, sure.
So all right. Well, that was really fun. Thanks for spending time with me today.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think we're missing something.
No, it's like, who wants to follow that, right? All right, well, all right, so here's a little bit about my composition. I didn't know if I wanted the notes to go up or down, so I know that where the notes, I decided to go most of the time. And my composition is really an A-B composition, meaning there's an A section, a B section, an A section, and a B section. And I never went to a C section. I never went to a bridge or something different like that. But I did try to shake it up a little bit with those 2 sections. But my first section, just so people know, because it's going to get really hidden, I use those 4 notes. But that's where I'm kind of going. I'm using those 4 notes, and on the B section, it's the same thing. So I'm just still using them, even though I go away from them. Both sections are using those notes rather than just the A section. So I'm actually thinking that this might be a piece of music. I'm looking to do some music for the novel that I'm writing that we might talk about in just a second. But this might be an imaginative scene from that novel. So I haven't given it a name. Somebody asked if yours had a name.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, at least not yet. And sometimes it takes a while for a name to settle in. I've given mine a working name, but I don't want to spit that out of my mouth. So I'm just going to say, here's my composition. And I hope you guys love it. And here we go. Thank you, Jonathan. I'll be right back. All right, we're back.
That was amazing. You had some tricks up your sleeve on that one.
I just had to play my organ.
That was awesome. That was awesome. It's interesting. So the same 4 notes, I feel like yours was centered around sort of E flat and C minor kind of as the tonal center, and I kind of picked A flat major as my general sort of, so that's pretty interesting how that worked out.
Yeah. And of course, I know you're not seeing all the comments. You can look at them when you go back and watch this after we're done, but it's just a lot of wonderful. There's like, you guys are great. You should be doing an album together. I could listen to this all day. It's just, I think that everybody's had a good time today.
That's awesome.
Playing with this. And somebody even said they could see Lizzie riding on the goose. And I said, yeah, I get that. And somebody else said it sounded like a waterfall, which is kind of funny because I have a waterfall in my novel as well. So
there you go.
So I have to say I've just been really happy to spend this week with you. We've chatted a lot on Facebook just in advance of this. And Jonathon, I have admired your talent both instantly, obviously, as a photographer, and obviously for what you are as a musician. It's been great to know you these years, even though it's not been like a close friendship. It's certainly been a friendship of admiration. I admire what you do.
Sure. Likewise.
So everybody, so here's the beautiful thing about the keyboard battle today. There's no poll. You don't get to go vote. There's no winner, because as far as I'm concerned, whenever creative people become creative, especially in these times when we're having to kind of stay at home and not do things, when goodness comes out of our spirit, everybody wins. And for the fact that you tuned in today to watch, hopefully you feel like you're a winner too.
This is a lot of fun. I want to thank you for the idea and for the challenge. I've never done anything quite like that, and that was sometimes when you have restrictions and rules, it pushes you to which maybe that's a little parallel for this time we're living in here. So we're operating under some restrictions and some rules, but it forces us to be creative in ways that we never would have thought. So that's I think that's good.
I think it's great. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and it's been a real joy. I don't feel embarrassed, which I know your skills are just awesome, and I feel like I brought my best to the party, so I had a good time.
I loved it. It was great. Next time you pick the 4 notes.
Hey, I'm glad that there'll be a next time. Let's plan on that in a few weeks from now or something.
Sure.
We got time on our hands, right? And I'm working on an album anyway, so.
There you go.
Everybody, I want to say thank you so much for joining with us today and on the fun. It's been a grand time. I honestly moved to tears, Jonathon. Thank you so much for your piece. And people, you're going to just, when you read these comments, I mean, by the hundreds or thousands, they're flying in. So you're going to be really encouraged too. You guys, we love all of you. We don't do what we do without you. You make us better. You give us hope and faith. I want you to keep doing what you do, because life is good even in dark times. And so we'll say goodbye now, and a big God bless to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
And happy Mother's Day. Absolutely. Bye, everybody.